Life moves pretty fast. Life is one damn thing after another.
Remember when Ferris Bueller was effortlessly cool, rebellious, and iconic? Then network TV asked, what if he had none of those things? TV execs have never met a good idea they couldn't run straight into the ground, and these 10 movie-to-TV adaptations are Exhibit A. We're talking recast disasters, bargain bin budgets, and scripts that couldn't charm their way out of a test screening. And stick around, because number 3 is a truly cursed adaptation that managed to waste both a future Oscar winner, hi Mr. Clooney, and a sitcom legend, all in one season. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a facepalm-worthy blast from the past. Oh, and if you missed our last deep dive into movie-to-TV messes, we dropped the link in the description, so check that out after this one. Now let's get into the countdown with number 10, Ferris Bueller, NBC.
I'm Ferris Bueller, and I have a certain talent for making things happen. Where did it come from?
Let's start with what might be one of television's greatest acts of sacrilege, right up there with turning RoboCop into a Saturday morning cartoon. In 1990, NBC decided to adapt Ferris Bueller's Day Off without Matthew Broderick and without any of the film's effortless charm, wit, or impeccable timing. John Hughes' 1986 masterpiece worked because Matthew Broderick brought a specific kind of charisma to Ferris. He was equal parts charming rogue and lovable narcissist. When he broke the fourth wall, it felt like your coolest friend letting you in on a little secret.
You're still here? It's over.
The movie also featured Alan Ruck as the perpetually anxious Cameron and Mia Sara as the perfect girlfriend Sloane, creating a trio that actually felt like friends, not just castmates reading lines. NBC's version cast Charlie Schlatter as Ferris, and while Schlatter was a capable young actor, he was essentially asked to recreate lightning in a bottle. His Ferris delivered asides to the camera with all the natural charm of a telemarketer reading terms and conditions. The show also featured a then unknown Jennifer Aniston as Jeannie, Ferris's perpetually annoyed sister, back when she was still auditioning for things like this and not making $1 million an episode on Friends. To make matters even weirder, the pilot had TV Ferris walk into class, pull out a cardboard cutout of Matthew Broderick, and tell the audience the movie wasn't how it really happened.
Two-dimensional. Tootsie.
That's one way to declare war on your own source material. Bold move, NBC. Bold move. If only the rest of the show had that kind of bite. The series tried to recreate the movie's signature elements, the schemes, the fourth wall breaking, and the teenage rebellion, but missed what made them special. Where Broderick's Ferris felt like he was genuinely getting away with murder, Schlatter's version felt like he was following a playbook. The show's adventures lacked the spontaneity and wit that made the film's single day feel epic. Perhaps most damaging was the competition. Fox launched Parker Lewis Can't Lose the same season, a show that actually understood how to make teenage rebellion feel fun and subversive. While Parker Lewis was pulling off elaborate schemes with style and energy, Ferris was stumbling through watered-down adventures that felt more like public service announcements about truancy than celebrations of creative rule-breaking. After just 13 episodes, NBC gave Ferris the ultimate detention: cancellation. It proved that some characters are so perfectly matched to their original actors that any replacement feels like watching a cover band trying to recreate the magic they fundamentally don't understand. Number 9, Working Girl, NBC.
Excuse me, I'm Tess McGill.
Libby Wentworth.
Hi. Personnel sent me to fill in. I'm looking for brand new house.
The original 1988 movie Working Girl was pure 80s gold. Melanie Griffith's Tess McGill was scrappy, ambitious, and had hair bigger than her career aspirations. Throw in some shoulder pads, power ballads, and Wall Street sleaze, and you had a certified classic. Directed by Mike Nichols, the film nailed corporate America's backstabbing charm with sharp wit, starring Harrison Ford as the dreamy executive, Sigourney Weaver as the love-to-hate boss, and Alec Baldwin as the sleazy working-class boyfriend. Griffith even snagged an Oscar nom for bringing vulnerability and grit to a role that could have easily been another underdog in Pumps. Fast forward to 1990, and NBC decided this smart, edgy film needed a sitcom makeover. Enter Sandra Bullock as Tess, and as much as we adore her now, Let's just say this wasn't exactly her bullet bust breakout. The show swapped sharp humor and romantic spark for watered-down focus-grouped dialogue, turning Tess from scrappy survivor to generic office drone stuck in recycled storylines.
I told Bryn I'd let her know in the morning. You mean you got the job? Piece of cake.
Her co-stars included Tom O'Brien as her forgettable boyfriend and Nana Visitor, yes, Major Kira from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, as her boss Bryn Newhouse. And despite her best efforts, even a future Starfleet commander couldn't beam up decent scripts. Gone was the commentary on class and gender. Gone were the sizzling moments of ambition and romance. Instead, we got reheated sitcom plots so bland they felt like Who's the Boss leftovers served cold. To be fair, Sandra Bullock wasn't really the problem. She did her best with what NBC handed her. The real issue was the network execs that stripped away everything that made Working Girl memorable, leaving behind just another cookie-cutter cubicle comedy. After 12 uninspired episodes, NBC finally pulled the plug, sending this corporate misfire straight to the unemployment line. Luckily, Bullock bounced back fast, and just a few years later, she was out running bombs on a city bus while this show faded into oblivion. Number 8, Parenthood, NBC.
So what? So what happened? Come on. Guys tell guys, it's a bonding thing.
Ron Howard's original 1989 film Parenthood nailed the beautiful chaos of family life with authenticity, warmth, and some gloriously messy hair. Anchored by Steve Martin's neurotic comedy, it featured a sprawling cast that included Mary Steenburgen, Jason Robards, Diane Wiest, and a very young Leaf Phoenix as the angsty teen Gary. Oh, and Keanu Reeves as Todd, the lovable slacker whose surfer wisdom somehow always made sense. So naturally, in 1990, NBC looked at that heartfelt layered dramedy and thought, let's slice it into sitcom chunks and air it between car commercials. What could go wrong? Well, first was the casting. Ed Begley Jr. stepped in for Steve Martin as Gil Buckman, but instead of anxious energy, we got the comedic equivalent of decaf. Leonardo DiCaprio took over Leaf Phoenix's role as Gary. Yes, that Leo DiCaprio, back when he was just a floppy-haired teen brooding over dinner rolls. David Arquette played Todd, bringing his usual quirky charm, but let's face it, no one out Keanu's Keanu, and Thora Birch gave us Taylor, the precocious kid who somehow managed to be adorable without being unbearable. The real problem was that NBC had no clue how to recreate the movie's emotional layering. The film tackled messy parenting, financial stress, and generational dysfunction with honesty and humor. The show? Well, it ping-ponged between Hallmark card moments and clunky drama.
Honey, I'm sorry. What can I tell you? I'm the breadwinner, you know? I had to win bread.
Gil, it's 9 o'clock. Kevin's been asking for you all day.
Like an after-school special that forgot who it was comforting. With too many characters and not enough time, the show rushed through scenes like it was late for soccer practice. The depth was gone, the stakes were low, and the jokes were mostly centered on precocious kids dropping punchlines like they were paid by the word. After just 12 episodes, NBC pulled the plug, proving that some stories need the big screen, or at least another 2 decades to figure themselves out. Parenthood was less a heartfelt look at family life and more like a chaotic game of sitcom charades. Everyone was trying, but no one really knew the rules. Turns out NBC just needed 20 more years, a full hour, and way better writers. The 2010 reboot finally gave the story the heart and space it actually deserved. Number 7, Clueless, ABC and UPN. Remember when Cher Horowitz ruled the 90s?
A dress.
Says who?
Calvin Klein.
It looks like underwear.
Amy Heckerling's 1995 film Clueless wasn't just a teen movie, it was a pop culture quake. Alicia Silverstone's Cher had the perfect mix of Valley Girl charm and surprising heart. Add Paul Rudd's sweet but sarcastic Josh, Brittany Murphy's glow-up as Ty, and Dan Hedaya's no-nonsense dad energy, and you had lightning in a yellow plaid bottle.
I don't know why John's going out with a high school boy. They're like dogs.
Fun fact, Clueless was actually based on Jane Austen's Emma, and Heckerling originally conceived it as a TV show before it became a movie. So maybe it made sense when ABC tried to spin it off into a weekly sitcom in 1996. The problem? What worked as a sharp, stylish 90-minute movie didn't hold up as a sitcom stretched across 3 seasons and 62 episodes. Alicia didn't come back, instead having Rachel Blanchard step in as Cher, and she was fine, but recreating Silverstone's magic was like trying to reboot a meme before the internet's done laughing. Some of the OG cast did return. Donald Faison as Murray, Stacey Dash as Dion, and Alyssa Donovan as Amber. Still dramatic, still fabulous. But the show struggled to lock on to a tone. Instead of the film's biting satire, we got recycled high school plots and makeover of the week storylines. It started on ABC, got shuffled to UPN, and never quite figured out what it wanted to be. Was it teen comedy, light drama, or just Saved by the Bell and platform heels?
Oh, scrunchies. I guess these could be okay. What's her hair like?
Short.
And yes, it did actually run for 3 seasons, but it wasn't must-watch TV. It coasted on name recognition, not because anyone was deeply invested in the characters or story. For a show that started with so much style, it left almost no legacy, and the takeaway was that some characters are so tied to the original performance that you can't just copy and paste the magic. As Cher would say,
As if.
Number 6, The Outsiders, Fox.
School dances. It was a time for growing up.
Hey, Derry, when was the first time you did it?
Francis Ford Coppola's 1983 film The Outsiders was pure poetry in motion, a gritty golden hour epic of brotherhood and class warfare that just happened to double as Hollywood's most stacked yearbook photo. You had C. Thomas Howell brooding as Ponyboy, Matt Dillon snarled as Dally, Ralph Macchio gave us trembling sincerity as Johnny, and then there was Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, and Tom Cruise, flexing, smirking, wisecracking, and doing backflips into stardom. Then came 1990, when Fox looked at all that moody magic and said, what if we made it weekly? Enter J.R. Ferguson as Ponyboy years before Mad Men's Stan Rizzo, here mostly poking at pancakes instead of existential trauma. The cast was sprinkled with future names like Billy Bob Thornton and David Arquette, but at the time, most of them looked like they'd been pulled off a Sears catalog shoot.
They catch that vicious pickpocket? Where is he now? Death row?
They found it after you left. The job's still there if you want it.
The network stripped away everything that made the original resonate. No street fights, no golden glow, just generic teen drama under studio lighting. Economic hardship got solved by a casserole, and family tension wrapped up with a group hug and a soft guitar cue. The Greasers didn't feel like outcasts fighting to survive, they felt like theater kids in leather on Spirit Week. And here's the twist. Coppola actually produced the series, but with Fox aiming for Family Hour, it didn't matter. The grit got smothered in network notes before Ponyboy ever picked up a switchblade. After just 13 episodes, Fox cut class and called it quits. Trying to turn The Outsiders into a weekly drama was like spray painting a mural with watercolor. It was blurry, messy, and absolutely not ready for network TV. We're officially halfway through our countdown of catastrophic TV adaptations, and since you're still here, smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Trust us, the best is yet to come, or is it maybe the worst? Number 5, Baby Talk, ABC.
I like that, but then again, I think Itsy Bitsy Spider's a classic.
The 1989 hit Look Who's Talking hinged on a simple, brilliant idea. Bruce Willis's deadpan voiceover brought baby Mickey's thoughts to life, while John Travolta and Kirstie Alley lit up the screen with chemistry and heart. It was a perfect blend of fish-out-of-water comedy and genuine romance. No wonder it grossed over $295 million worldwide. But in 1991, when ABC tapped Tony Danza, star of Taxi and Who's the Boss, to channel that same magic into a weekly sitcom, the concept transformed from charming novelty into sitcom kryptonite. On screen, baby Mickey's inner monologue was funny in 90-minute doses. Stretch it over 35 episodes and every scene became a setup for one more Tony Danza one-liner. The show opened with Julia Duffy from Newhart as single mom Maggie Campbell, juggling life and diaper duty. In season 1, George Clooney, pre-ER, played her blue-collared boyfriend James. He was charming, but behind the scenes, things were a mess. There was constant showrunner turnover, non-stop script rewrites, and a tone that couldn't decide whether it was going to be sweet family sitcom or quirky adult comedy. By season 2, Clooney had enough and quit, arguably one of the best career decisions of his life. Julia Duffy followed suit, leaving after just 1 season. That made 2 leads gone in 6 months, 3 if you count Connie Selica, who dropped out before the show even premiered. But nothing seemed to shake ABC's belief in Baby Talk. Not the failed casting carousel, not the fact that gimmicky movies like Who's Talking rarely make good TV, And not even the critics, who named Baby Talk worst series on television in the 1991 Electronic Media Critics Poll.
Guys, I think we should keep looking.
Yeah, maybe they'll come back.
Let's get to work. Come on.
In season 2, Mary Page Keller stepped into Maggie's shoes, and Scott Baio became her new love interest, bringing his Charles in Charge charm, but even he couldn't rescue a show where every emotional moment was interrupted by, "Hey, it's me again, you're talking baby." Unlike the film, which used the baby's voice for occasional comic relief, the sitcom made it the centerpiece, and audiences quickly tuned out.
Yeah, right back at you, babe.
Why didn't you tell me?
Hey, man, you're on your own.
After 2 chaotic seasons, ABC finally pulled the plug. Turns out some conversations, especially with a wisecracking infant, are best left on the big screen. Number 4, Harry and the Hendersons.
Give me a bag.
The 1987 film Harry and the Hendersons worked because it knew exactly what it was. A heartwarming, one-and-done family story where Bigfoot becomes part of the family, teaches everyone a lesson, and then heads back to the woods like a giant fuzzy Yoda. John Lithgow brought the emotion, Kevin Peter Hall brought the soul, and the movie knew when to say goodbye. Then came the TV version. Syndicated in 1991, the show asked, what if Harry never left? And that's when the charm started to unravel faster than a shag carpet in a rainstorm. Bruce Davison stepped in for Lithgow as George Henderson, trying to keep Harry's existence a secret in a sitcom-sized world. Kevin Peter Hall returned as Harry, still nailing the giant gentle vibe, until tragedy struck. Hall passed away in 1991, just as season 2 was beginning, and with him went the soul of the show. After that, Harry was just a giant Wookiee wandering through boilerplate plots about burnt meatloaf and nosy neighbors. But the real death blow came later that same season, when Harry got discovered. That was the whole premise. You had to hide Bigfoot.
What are we going to do about Harry?
Once the cat, or 8-foot Sasquatch, was out of the bag, the writers just kept going. Instead of wrapping things up, they leaned harder into sitcom tropes. Government agents, Halloween mix-ups, and Harry wrecking another blender like it was plot device number 4. The show lasted 3 full seasons, but it never really evolved. It just existed. A syndicated ghost of its former self. No major cliffhangers, no cultural footprint. Just 72 episodes of Bigfoot knock-knock jokes and heartwarming chaos that never quite hit the mark, and I'm going to repeat that number. 72 episodes is a long time. Harry and the Hendersons wasn't just a disaster. It was a classic case of dragging a single joke across 3 years of television. The movie had a perfect ending. The show just didn't know when to let Bigfoot go.
You take care of yourself now, okay? Okay.
Number 3, The Police Academy, the series, syndication. Back in 1984, Police Academy was a breakout hit thanks to Steve Guttenberg's wide-eyed Carrie Mahoney, Kim Cattrall's bubbly cadet, and George Gaines's gruff but lovable Commandant Lassard. The formula clicked. Underdog recruits, a misfit ensemble, shout out to Bubba Smith's Hightower, David Graff's trigger-happy Tackleberry, and Marion Ramsey's whispery hooks, and jokes that landed because the cast had actual chemistry. By the time Mission to Moscow limped into theaters in 1994, the franchise was on life support, but that didn't stop someone in 97 from saying, let's make it a weekly series. Enter Police Academy the series. Michael Winslow returned as Larvell Jones, the human sound machine, still capable of mimicking helicopters, monsters, and machine guns using only his face. Leslie Easterbrook was back, boots and all, as Sergeant Callahan, but the rest, a lineup of character cliches. The overeager nerd, the try-hard tough guy, the panicked rookie. It was like someone tried to rebuild the original squad from memory while watching a different show.
We are now entering the expressway at Belmont.
Very good. Your bus is to deploy on 16th Street between 4th and 8th Avenue.
It suffered from the same problem that tanked the later films: diminishing returns. How many times can someone screw up a basic police procedure before it stops being funny? How many times can Winslow save a scene before his sound effects fade into background noise? And since it was made for syndication, the budget was MIA. Sets looked like empty warehouses dressed up for Halloween. Action scenes were mostly people sprinting through parking lots, and even the weakest Police Academy movies looked like Spielberg compared to this. After just 26 episodes, this academy got quietly expelled, because some franchises don't need another reboot, they need a permanent desk job, or at least stop issuing sequels like parking tickets. Number 2, Dangerous Minds, ABC.
Look, okay, if at the end of the term, you're not faster, stronger, and smarter, you will have lost nothing.
When Dangerous Minds rolled into theaters in 1995, it didn't just hit hard, it sucker punched every soft-focused classroom movie that came before it. Michelle Pfeiffer played Luann Johnson, a no-nonsense ex-Marine dropped into a broken school system. Backed by George Zunda's gruff but decent principal and Courtney B. Vance's fellow teacher, the film didn't flinch from gang violence, teen pregnancy, or institutional failure. When Luann broke through, it felt real, earned through grit, poetry, and persistence, not a magical montage.
Yeah, so what's the prize we're gonna get for learning this poem?
Learning is the prize. Yeah.
So when ABC adapted it into a weekly drama in 1996, they cast Annie Potts, yes, designing women's sharp-tongued Mary Jo, as Luann. Potts brought heart, but the network stripped the edge. Scripts swapped gang tension for prom queen problems, and Shakespeare saves the day. Serious issues were served up like sitcom B-plots, and every moral crisis got solved with a pep talk and a slow clap. The show wanted streetwise drama, but was terrified to show actual streets. Annie Potts did what she could with dialogue afraid of its own premise, but no amount of charisma could save a show that pulled every punch. After just 17 episodes, ABC sent Dangerous Minds to permanent detention, proving that some films are better left unsanitized and unsyndicated. Number 1, Starman, ABC.
Take me with you.
I cannot.
Please.
You will die there.
I don't think I care.
And finally, at number 1, we have Starman, a show that took John Carpenter's tender, otherworldly romance and turned it into Highway to Heaven with laser hands. The 1984 film worked because of one simple truth. Jeff Bridges made us believe. As the alien turned human navigating grief, love, and government helicopters, he earned an Oscar nod by turning silence, chocolate, and confused stares into something profound. It was part sci-fi, part love story, and all heart. So naturally, ABC said, let's turn that emotional gut punch into a weekly family drama. Enter Robert Hayes, yes, the guy from Airplane, as Paul Forrester, our new alien dad on the run with his son. Instead of soul-searching and quiet wonder, we got dad helps a farmer feel feelings while levitating a tractor, rinse, repeat, and add sparkles. Where the film gave us magic in the mundane, Bridges discovering rain, mispronouncing English, tasting chocolate, the show gave us small-town antics and garage sale wisdom.
I was away from Scott for many years. Most of his life.
The mystery was gone, replaced by glow-in-the-dark palms and soft-focused problem-solving. And then there was the budget. The movie had real cinematic weight, resurrections, energy manipulation, cosmic awe. The show had mood lighting and a fog machine on loan from General Hospital. To be fair, the cast did their best, and the production values weren't awful, but ABC parked the show on Friday nights and forgot to promote it. It never found its audience, and truthfully, it never earned one. After 22 episodes, it was gone. Starman the series is proof that some stories aren't meant to be stretched into syndication. What felt like magical in 120 minutes became limp across 22 episodes. Some alien visitors are meant for a perfect goodbye, not a weekly family adventure with sparkly fingers. And there you have it, 10 terrible TV shows that prove Hollywood's golden rule. If something works perfectly as a movie, television executives will find a way to break it completely. Did you watch any of these adaptations? Let us know in the comments section below, and remember to subscribe for more retro TV deep dives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.